When I was in
We
Las
got time.
Vegas, we went to this ghost town, my buddy Brandon and I, and then with these other YouTubers that are, bigger and more prominent. And, I watch their videos and I'm not like, oh my gosh, there's this person or there's that YouTuber. But you experience too bouts of introversion. I say bout like it's a bad thing. Like you experience times where you feel like your truth is being introverted or sort of not antisocial, but just not extroverted and talking to people. But something about this connection with this person brought that out. You ended up spending 6+ hours, even if you were making something and not engaged in constant extroverted conversation. You didn't you didn't kind of turtle up and avoid it. And in this situation at this ghost town, like this is what you've been waiting for. You got in the truck, you drove out there, you're with all these interesting people with stories and backgrounds and whatever, and I just completely locked up.
Yeah.
And just went inside. I was making a video for my photography channel, so I was focusing on photos and video. That was sort of my little, how people like at a party and they don't have anybody around to talk, go on their phone as like a safe place. Like that was my thing to do to feel a little bit safer. And I, missed out on, I think my problem is in that situation is I'm like, okay, these people are, at a farther along in their content creator artistic journey, because a lot of them do things, client work, personal professional work, and YouTube as well. And I don't want me asking them questions or talking to them to come across as
you don't want to be seen as like a type of person,
or like I don't want them to think like I have an angle.
Yeah.
Like I'm worried that they think, well, like, am I going to want to partner up and do something on their channel? Am I going to ask them for something? You know what I mean? Like, I'm so insecure or worried about them.
It's interesting because it's such a goofy thing.
I know, it's so dumb.
Like the idea of, they create more content for brands or like.
Well, just so like they're more successful. Like they're more popular, if you will. It's like you're the freshman.
It's just such a silly
in high school, and the cool seniors are there, and you're like, well, if I talk to them, they're gonna think I'm trying to like.
Well, the high school thing's that's a good metaphor because you look back on 90% of the stuff you did in high school, and you're like, how fucking stupid was that? Like. And
the stuff you didn't do,
and
like talk to girls.
If there's people listening in high school, I'm not. This is negative, but this is just a fact of life. Like you're gonna look back, and you just see things from oh man, there were a lot of socially engineered games that were being played that were completely pointless.
Right.
And we still play those games as adults. They just look a little different, and most people don't even realize they're playing those games as adults.
Yeah.
But it's like that was totally you got like caught in a game.
And then what's funny is when I came back,
which is bizarre, there was
I was there not at NAB, but I was connected with B&H, the video camera store from New York that has a pretty big website that sells stuff to filmmakers and whatnot. And they had a big party. And so a lot of the people that I was at that ghost town with were there, and then other people. And then the switch completely flipped. And then I was like full extrovert.
Confident,
talking, chatting up. Like I was actually trying to like help the people that I wasn't afraid to talk to, but I was just sort of withdrawn from at the ghost town. But at the party, I'm like, I can see that they've now introverted.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking to them, and maybe making them hopefully feel a little bit more comfortable because they're tired or they're ready to be done or they've been talking to so many strangers because they're more well known, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just completely.
You sent me that video yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is similar.
Yes. The one on Jung.
Yeah. But just kind of the more general idea of.
Yeah.
You're perceiving your world to be a certain way.
And all of that stuff being a reflection of what's going on. So I look at that, situation of the ghost town and I'm just like, you are someone that is insecure and, maybe you think you should be somewhere with what you're capable of, but you're not, and you're around people that are farther along than you are, even though they have their own issues and setbacks and things that
Yeah.
they wish they had done differently, all the same stuff as you, but you let that perception of it dictate your behavior. And like that in that video talks about shifting your perception, you know, and then the thumbnail says, you know, something like "don't give a shit anymore" or whatever. It's like, in that situation, if I could go back, just like you're saying about like high school, like in college, I wish I could go back and just not give a shit.
Yeah, just don't care
Like,
what people think.
what would you be like, and what would you do?
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer.